Hello, this is Saurabh. In today's video, we are going to talk about the Great Indian Plateau. So first, let us know about the Great Indian Plateau. So Great Indian Plateau is the oldest and largest landform of our country. So where is it located? This one. Half of it is located in the northern part of our country. This is the Indian Plateau. This inside part is the Indian Plateau. So it extends up to an area of 16 lakh square kilometers. This Great Indian Plateau has an elevation of 600 to 900 meters. So how this was formed? So the theory behind this is that it was formed due to the breaking and drifting of the Indian plate from the Gondwana land. So this Great Indian Plateau is divided into two parts: the Central Highlands and the Deccan Plateau. So let us see the divisions. So this upper part is the Central Highlands. These are the Central Highlands. And this below part, it is the Deccan Plateau. So first, let us see about the Central Highlands. So the Central Highlands have Aravalli northern plains to their north, the Aravalli ranges to their west. Here. These are the Aravalli ranges. Aravalli ranges to their west. The highest peak of Aravalli range is Guru Shikhar. Here. This is the highest peak, Guru Shikhar. Aravalli ranges to the west, and to the south they have the Vindhya range. Vindhya range. The Central Highlands are separated from the Deccan Plateau by the river Narmada. This river Narmada originates in the Amarkantak Plateau in Maikal Hills. This one is river Narmada. It originates here, the Maikal Hills. Maikal Hills in the Amarkantak Plateau. So this is where the Central Highlands are located. Now what it consists of. So the Central Highlands is made up of four parts: Malwa Plateau, this one. This is the Malwa Plateau. This one is Malwa Plateau. Then we have the Bundelkhand Plateau. This is the Bundelkhand Plateau. Then we have the Vindhya range. Then we have the Vindhyachal Bundelkhand Plateau. We have the Vindhyachal Bundelkhand Plateau. And after this remaining part, it is the Chota Nagpur Plateau. This is the Chota Nagpur Plateau. So first let us study about the Malwa Plateau. So this Malwa Plateau is located in the, it has to the southwestern part, it has the To the southwestern part, it is located in the southwestern part, northwestern part of the Central Highlands, and it is made up of low relief and undulating topography. The word relief means varying heights. Then we have the Bundelkhand Plateau. So Bundelkhand Plateau is located in the northeast. To the northeast of Bundelkhand Plateau, we have the Malwa Plateau, and it is located in the northern part of Madhya Pradesh. It consists of the major part of the Yamuna River basin. Then after Bundelkhand, before going to the Vindhyachal Bagelkhand Plateau, we'll know the rivers in Bundelkhand Plateau and the Malwa Plateau. So in Vindhya range, the origination place we have River Mahi. Then we have River Mahi. Then we have River Chambal, which originates in the Vindhya range, further joins River Ganga. River Chambal. Then we have Betwa. This is River Betwa. Then we have River Sindh. River Betwa originates in the Malwa Plateau and some part flows in it, but most of the part flows in Bundelkhand Plateau. And River Sindh, almost all part flows in the Bundelkhand Plateau. Then to the south of the Bundelkhand Plateau, here to the south of Bundelkhand Plateau, we have the Kaimur range. This is the Kaimur range. Then we have the Vindhyachal Bagelkhand Plateau. So the Vindhyachal Bagelkhand Plateau, it is located to the southeast of Vindhyachal Bagelkhand Plateau. We have the Bundelkhand Plateau, and to the east of the Vindhyachal Bagelkhand Plateau, we have the Malwa Plateau. Then there are hills in the Vindhyachal Bagelkhand Plateau. Some hills are there. These hills. These are the Vindhyachal hills. We have the Vindhyachal hills here. They run from the southwest to northeast direction. Then the Vindhyachal Bagelkhand Plateau is located in the eastern part of Madhya Pradesh. Then the northern part of Chhattisgarh, and to the east of this Vindhyachal region, means above the Vindhyachal hill ranges, we have the Bagelkhand region. The Bagelkhand region is the source region for the river Ton and Son and its tributaries. So here we have river Ton, and from here we have river Son. So these flow in the Bagelkhand region. Then we have the last section of the Central Highland, that is the Chota Nagpur Plateau. So the Chota Nagpur Plateau is mostly located in the state of Jharkhand, but very less part of it lies in West Bengal, or Chhattisgarh, Odisha, and it is the smallest division of the Central Highlands. And to the north of the Chhattisgarh, here is on the boundary of the Central Highlands, we have the Rajmahal Hills. These are the Rajmahal Hills. So this is all that we have about the Central Highlands. So now the second division of the Great Indian Plateau, that is the Deccan Plateau. So the Deccan Plateau lies to the south of River Narmada, as we have spoken already that River Narmada separates Central Highlands from Deccan Plateau. So it lies to the south of River Narmada, Deccan Plateau, and to the north it is separated from the Central Highlands again by Michael Range, again by Mahadev Hills, and for again further separation, here the Satpura Range. This is the Satpura Range. These three ranges separate the Deccan Plateau from the Central Highlands. Now let us look about the divisions of the Deccan Plateau. So the Deccan Plateau, like the Central Highlands, is divided into four parts: the Maharashtra Plateau, the Telangana Plateau, the Karnataka Plateau, and the Eastern Plateau. So first let us look about the Maharashtra Plateau. So this is the Maharashtra Plateau. This part, this is the Maharashtra plateau. This Maharashtra plateau is the place of origination for river Godavari and river Krishna. Then about the Maharashtra plateau. So it is located in the northwestern part of the Deccan plateau. It has about a basaltic deposition of about 2 kilometers, and the altitude of Maharashtra plateau is about 400 to 600 meters. So after Maharashtra plateau, we have the Telangana plateau. So this part, this is the Telangana plateau. This is Telangana plateau. Means the states of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh are combined and they form the Telangana plateau. So this Telangana plateau, it has an average elevation of 300 to 600 meters, and it to the north it has the Maharashtra plateau, to the south it has the Karnataka plateau, and after this we have the Karnataka plateau here. So this part, this is the Karnataka plateau. This is the Karnataka plateau. So this Karnataka plateau is also known by a name in Hindi, which is called Maidan. This Karnataka plateau is called Maidan. It slopes from west to east direction. Then we have the last section of the Deccan plateau, that is the Eastern plateau. This part, this is the Eastern plateau. The Eastern plateau is divided into 3 parts. That is first the Mahanadi basin, which is located to the south of the Chota Nagpur plateau. Then we have the Dandakaranya, which is located to the south of the Chhattisgarh, and then we have the Garjat Hills. These Garjat Hills are located in the northwestern part of Odisha. These are the Garjat Hills. Garjat Hills. And to the south, Garjat Hills, and one of the sub-range of the Garjat Hills is this one. This Malaigiri. This is the sub-range of Garjat Hills, and the highest peak of Malaigiri is also Malaigiri. This is Malaigiri. So this is all about the Deccan Plateau and about the Great Indian Plateau. But if we look carefully, we can see that the Deccan Plateau, on its western and eastern border, we have the western and the eastern Ghats. From here, which extends in Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Kerala. These are the western Ghats, and we also have the eastern Ghats here. These are the eastern Ghats. So from this only we can know that these western Ghats are continuous, but eastern Ghats are not continuous. Western Ghats, and this we have the eastern Ghats. So these are the eastern Ghats. So if we talk about the western Ghats, they extend from here Tapi Valley to Kanyakumari, and they have an elevation of about 600 to 1200 meters. And the rainfall on the west coast means the western part of the western Ghats. So this the rainfall here is about 150 centimeter plus in the west coast, and the average width of the western Ghats is 50 to 80 kilometers. And if you talk about the highest peak of western Ghats is Anaimudi, and then we come to the eastern Ghats. So these are the eastern Ghats. They extend from West Bengal to here in the Nilgiri Hills. This way. These are the Nilgiri Hills. Till here, from West Bengal to Nilgiri Hills they extend, and they have an elevation of about 900 meters, and the average width is 100 to 180 kilometers. So if we compare them to the Western Ghats, their width is much greater than the Western Ghats. The rainfall in this region is about 60 to 80 centimeter, and the highest peak of the Eastern Ghats is Mahendragiri. So this is all about the Eastern Ghats. Thanks for watching.